Part 1, taking stock, is based on the combination of 3 inputs. We started by bringing together our learning from our own hands-on work with 30 to 40 large international NGOs over the past 18 years. When we dissected the challenging leadership context of these complex organizations, we reflected on the considerable external pressures. Several internal factors that don't always help, and especially on 3 core leadership challenges. And then on the practical symptoms or issues that we all come across far too often.
We listened and analyzed what we heard from a set of candid interviews with 20 plus individuals who hold or recently held some of the most challenging leadership roles in our sector from the north and south. These are just a few of the quotes which give you a small flavor of what we heard in some soul-searching and brutally frank discussions.
We heard time and time again that these key roles have become almost impossible jobs. This is the first of top 12 themes from this set of discussions. In the paper, you will see a raft of quotes across these 12 themes, several of these attributed with the kind of permission of the contributors. Hopefully, this will give you a sense of the raw emotions behind the views expressed. In the spirit of optimism, despite the critical tone of several of these quotes, all of the contributors remain hugely positive and optimistic on the sector and the work that needs to be done.
Looking to the decade ahead, we reflect on what we see as the most important shifts or mega trends which might change the kind of leaders and leadership systems we need. These are cheekily grouped as the 6 Ds. Each of these presents very considerable challenges, perhaps sometimes opportunities, but in all cases will impact the kinds of expertise and leadership needed in the decade ahead.
At the end of part 1, we draw summary conclusions. Conclusions 1 emphasizes the importance of leadership system, a hypothesis we identified at the outset of this research. Conclusion 2 puts the spotlight directly on the leadership systems in some of our NGOs, which are too often weak, stretched, tired, or simply broken. Early in our deliberations, we concluded that there is absolutely no point in beating up well-meaning, in most cases talented and dedicated individuals who battle with the fragile leadership systems in these large and stretched organizations. Conclusions 3, 4, and 5 touch on what we see as the most important factors that amplify this systemic problem: drowning in complexity, a substandard performance culture, or in the worst cases, put bluntly, a low performance culture, and the need to reflect and perhaps rethink the future role and contribution of some of these large established NGOs.
What are the implications of these conclusions? Firstly, you need to work hard to refresh, strengthen, or in some cases, rebuild the leadership system. No point in persecuting talented individuals. This is a subject of part 2. Next, given the scope and scale of the challenge, we need absolutely exceptional people in the key roles to survive, to perform, and at the same time to lead the transformation of these fragile leadership systems. This is a subject of part 3. Finally, we need to stop kicking the ball down the road. Yes, interrogate honestly where your leadership system is at. Look at the big picture, a practical action plan to start strengthening your leadership system. This is the subject of part 4.